What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Under Review. And this time we are looking, actually not really looking, we are going back to the world of World of Warcraft. Yes, I said it. World of Warcraft. Somehow, some way, this game has sucked me back in, and I am here now reviewing the next expansion for World of Warcraft. I have been out of the World of Warcraft loop for so long, but it wasn't until like Warlords of Draenor, and then of course when Legion came out in 2016, I was completely sucked in. And now with the Battle of Azeroth, I was kind of like, from the announcement, I was all in. And Battle for Azeroth, it brings it back to the core of what World of Warcraft technically and honestly used to be. The true battle between humans and orcs. And it's not like playing off of different factions and bringing them this and doing that and going here and going there. It's pretty much, it brings it back to the core of what Warcraft technically was. It is back to humans versus orcs. And essentially, this game is going to be kicking off with, honestly, you get two different stories depending on what faction you play. It's making you pick a side. Are you for the Horde or are you for the Alliance? So I say technically humans versus orcs is not necessarily true. What I technically mean is Alliance versus Horde. That is technically what the core of this game has been about. And honestly, for expansions before it, it seemed like it was getting a little bit away from that. It was like everybody collectively getting together and peace treaties for this because so-and-so, and peace treaties for that. Well, we're going to be okay with each other in this zone because of so-and-so. All that is now out the window. It is back to what the core used to be, which is Alliance versus Horde. And essentially, no matter, depending on what faction you pick, you're going to get a different tale of the story. Kicking off with the Alliance story, which they are trying to bring in essentially the Navy-focused, humans of the Lost Island of Kaltiras, if you know that island. While the Horde is all after Zandalar, which is the home of the Troll civilization. So we are back to the center of the Trolls helping out the Horde and succeeding in this. And technically, before this expansion launched, the events of Battle for Azeroth already kind of kicked off with the burning of Tendrasil and the siege of Lordaeron. And I came in jumping in right on the Horde side right away, and we are already in the siege of Lordaeron. So you're taking up arms. You're one of the champions that is being summoned to kind of help push off these waves, and the events kind of kick off from there. And then you're brought to one central location. There are basically two big islands, two worlds that kind of open up with three regions around each. So depending on what side you're going to get on, you're going to get two different ways of looking at it. And each of these lands is actually kind of big in scope. So think of it almost like a capital city, but in that same scale with three regions around it. And that's where your questing is always going to be essentially taking place for Battle for Azeroth. So obviously the level scaling has increased. You go up to 120 now. If you buy this one, you actually get all the other expansions, and you can boost your level up to 110. So you can get a character from the gate starting at 110, and it kind of puts you right into battle. You can kind of pick and choose what character you want. All the additional classes are there, and then you kind of pick up the story from there. But if you played the events leading up to this, and one thing I will say about Blizzard knows how to make environments. That's the one thing that I truly loved about this expansion, and it didn't just feel like three regions thrown together into two big central points that didn't seem like really to go together. They all felt like they go together. The environments are unbelievable. I'm not going to talk about the cinematics because everybody knows Blizzard is masters at the cinematic. You're not going to beat them. There's no way way around that. But what I'm talking about is just the environments in themselves. And I will, and just looking at the landscape, looking at the worlds, they feel like they belong. They feel like they go together. They don't feel like they're thrown, and they're kind of like almost like a palate cleanse. It's not really like that. And also, I'm in love with the questing on this one. Now, yeah, you're going to have your occasional quest that You know, collect 5 of so-and-so and then bring them here. Collect 10 or 15 of so-and-so and then bring them here. You still have those, and that's kind of like the bummer on it. But the questing and the progression of it, it keeps you intrigued. It keeps you wanting to continue on and continue further to kind of see what's going to happen next and where your character can go. Because honestly, you can get, in one day's time, you can complete Battle of Azeroth with one character. And in about 1 to 2 days, if you play it on a steady grind. If you don't play it on a steady grind, then obviously you're going to have a week or two until you can complete at least one side of Battle of Azeroth, depending on what faction you choose and which character you choose. Because I'm sure a lot of you have more than a bunch of level 110 tunes, so you're going to have to take them each through the progression of it. But that, in all honesty, this picks up where Legion left off, and I was a huge fan of Legion. This picks up. It takes the reins from what Legion left us with. I love Legion. I thought it was a great expansion. It kind of brought me back to World of Warcraft and what I loved about it. So I'm actually very, very happy with it. And Battle for Azeroth puts me back into what World of Warcraft was when I first got it. The true balance and the true fight between Alliance and Horde, and feeling great about the faction you represent. So that, in all honesty, is why I give World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth an 8 out of 10. It's a great expansion. The worlds and the environments that they put you out for the expansion are relatively large in scope, and the regions that all feel like they belong together. The story is really, really excellent, and it leaves me hope for another decade worth of World of Warcraft, and looking forward to what's coming next. So, until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I am KO the X Factor. Until next time, game on.